Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. If you're new here, this is Katie, and today I am starting the crazy project. I guess starting the crazy project was deciding to do this kit to begin with. You might have a guess if you see the giant pile of drills here, and this is page 1 of the inventory sheet. I am in the process of planning out and actually kitting up my giant Josephine Wall kit, which if you didn't get the chance to see me unbox that, I will add it up in the eye, which is, if you're new to YouTube, there's a little card that'll pop up and it'll link to the video that I'm talking about. So I unboxed this kit, and it is 100 by 75 centimeters. This is the German word for colors, which means there are 220 colors in this kit. It is square. It is legally licensed from the artist Josephine Wall. The name of this painting is Magical Merry-Go-Round. It's from Diamond Painting Deutschland, Germany. And they carry a number of Josephine Wall's works as diamond paintings, and all of them have like 200 plus colors. So I was super intrigued by the idea of doing one of these, and there was a lot of interest in seeing one of these done. And after my last whip and chat, where I mentioned that I was sort of having the itch to go ahead and get this kitted up so I could maybe work on it from time to time, that got a really excited response. So I thought, okay, well, let's start working on mapping this out. So I wanted to share with you guys exactly how I went about, how I'm approaching kitting this up, because this is obviously very different from getting like a kit from Diamond Art Club, which typically has 50 or less colors, and that you can fit in one set of Elizabeth Ward containers or a couple of Harbor Freights. Like, it's a little more self-explanatory in that sense. But with a kit like this, I was thinking about, okay, where this canvas is going to be very confetti heavy and each section is going to have lots of colors, I want to be kitted up in a way that makes it easier for me when I'm scanning for colors, scanning for symbols. So how I decided to go about doing that was, first I looked at this. Honestly, this inventory sheet has been a lifesaver, because one of the things that they include, this column. So this column here, well, let me go in order here. First column, this is the symbol. This is the DMC number. This is the number of drills for each color. And then it says like how many packets there are, but every single one of these, it was just one pack. So this was the helpful number to me to see, okay, how many of each color are there? And then what I did is I looked at my different storage options, which I'll show you guys here in just a minute. But I spent a ridiculous amount of time going through and finding out, okay, what's the most amount of drills that I can fit in my smallest storage container? What's the most number of drills that I can fit in a medium size? Like, I have several different sizes of containers. So I started with that and made, notes on here, and then went through and mapped out, okay, so for example, one of the storage sets that I bought was from Amazon, and they're quite small containers. So I thought, let me see if I can get, so for example, there's 168 of these like small containers. So I thought, let me see if the 168 smallest, like least number of drills, which look like somewhat like this color, says there's 47 of in this entire giant canvas. So confetti crazy. So let me see if like the 168 least number of drills would all fit in these smallest containers, because the smaller the container, the easier it is to glance through. At least that's my thought process anyway. I'm not sure if that's actually going to be how it works in practice, but I'm going to try it. I can always switch it up. That's, mid-project if I need to. Because let's be honest here, this is going to be a very long-term, large-scale project that it's not going to have this done in a couple weeks. So anyway, so then I went through and made notes, like next to each symbol. I noted, so the circle, the O, for me stands for that smallest container, and then like the extra small Elizabeth Ward, and then the small, and then the, medium and large. So then I went through and I tallied up, okay, 168 of the smallest, 22 of the extra small, 17 of the small, 9 of the medium, 4 of the large. This was a lot of work up front, but I wanted to set myself up for success and thought, hey, if I do all of this legwork up front, that'll make kitting up that much easier because I know what containers I'm going to use. I don't have to map it out, I don't have to figure it out as I go and hope that I don't run out of the size containers that I need. So I will share the same caveat that I did on the unboxing for this kit. This kind of kit is not for everyone. If you're super type A and enjoy, this was, even though it took me a long time, this was kind of fun for me, which makes me super weird. Like, my husband would just be losing his ever-loving mind at the prospect of trying to tackle something like this, because it's just not how his brain works. So if something like this just sounds like an absolute nightmare to you, don't do it. If this is something that sounds fun for you, or like a challenge that you're excited to take on, going into that with that mentality is like you're setting yourself up for success that way. You know what I mean? So just something to keep in mind. Don't let this be a project you would force yourself to do, because also that's not the point of this hobby and craft, right? Like, we do it for relaxation and for enjoyment, and yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. So let me show you the storage that I have. So this was a set that I got on Amazon because I knew I wasn't going to do like all Elizabeth Ward. And these were super, super, super inexpensive. Like $8, $10, something really inexpensive for these. To get 6 of these, and each of these, here, I'll show you. So the way that these work is then there's it comes as a row of 4, and they're little, and they fit up to 650 drills, because yes, I did go through and figure that all out, between 650 and 700 drills. And then you just open the one that you're going to use and dump it into your tray. Or really, if you really wanted to, you could just pick and place straight out of the container if it's confetti, and then snap it closed. These are not containers that I would use for my sort of everyday projects like a Diamond Art Club, because they are so small that I don't feel like I would get as practical use out of them, because most of the kits that I do have more of the bags of kits that have lots of drills, and so it's not practical. Also, these are, because they are cheap, I just saw this one is not, camera's gonna focus, it won't stay closed. So I'll just use a little piece of Scotch tape or something, that's not a big deal. And I don't mind that with a kit like this, because this is something that, who knows what the color that I put in here, maybe I'm gonna get out 5 times the whole time in the kit. Anyway, I'll link this set down below if this is something you guys are interested in. I'm hoping that, like I said, I'm hoping that this is going to be the kind of thing that when I put the symbols on these and I'm searching for a symbol, that this is going to just be really easy to look at. I'll have 6 of these, I can just look through them and it'll be quick. So, like I said, I have 6 of these cases in here that adds up to, that's going to hold 168 colors. Every once in a while I go, I am out of my mind. Okay. So then originally I had thought, okay, so I'll use those and then I'll do 2 Elizabeth Wards. Maybe if I can fit it into one, that would be really cool. That unfortunately was not going to work based on the drills that I have. Like I wasn't going to be able to, no matter what I did, wasn't going to be able to fit it all in one. So then I thought, well, do I then do 2 Elizabeth Ward trays? But the thing is that the only other size containers that I need after this is I needed like 22 of the small, like the skinny Elizabeth Wards. And it's like, well, I could fit like 8 here. And then I have the other 10. It was just a really awkward amount. So I thought, okay, let me revisit this. And for these will be my large, medium, and small containers. Large, medium, small. And then I saw, oh, I need 22 of the extra small. So instead of doing Elizabeth Ward, I thought, well, the Harbor Freights have 25. And frankly, with the symbol stickers that the company sent, they'll fit better on these than the tiny Elizabeth Ward containers anyway. Which, here, let me just show you because I've got them over here. This is what I'm talking about. These super skinny ones. I have the camera. I'm not even really looking at the camera. It's like these. I needed like 22 of these, and just 22 of those were not going to fit in the rest of this tray. I hope this is making sense. This is like a level of detail that either you are all about or you're like, girl, just start kitting up. So you're in one of those 2 camps. And if you're like me, you're in the former and you're like, this is fascinating. I love seeing how, how you would go about doing something like this. And if you're in the latter, you've probably already skipped ahead by this point. So anyway, there are 3 big honkin' packages of drills. They are in Ziploc bags. So if you were to do one of these kits, you could hypothetically just work out of the bags. That does not sound like a fun time to me, especially because when I was going through and testing them to see what sizes of containers they would fit in, and a number of these bags do have static. So when I kit up, I'm going to grab dryer sheets just in case I want to stuff them in the containers. So I am going to kit up, but if you really wanted to, there's no reason you couldn't hypothetically work out of baggies. So my plan is that I'm just going to do this in DMC order. Excuse me, super dry throat right now. Let me grab some water. Let's be smart here. So I kicked around a lot of ideas of how I could organize these containers in terms of like what would make them easier to find. And I don't honestly see a very good way to go about organizing these. I could potentially do it by color, like put all the red and pink symbols together and all of the green and blue symbols together, that kind of thing. But the reality is that these have to go in the size containers that I have noted for them. And I could sort within the different organizational systems by color. I don't know. My thought at this point is I'm just going to kit it up in DMC order and not worry about it. And if I see an easy way to shuffle things around, which like in the Harbor Freight and the Elizabeth Ward, those are easy to shuffle around. That's not a big deal. These will be a little trickier because they come in sets of 4, and so whatever is in the row 4 has to stay. But still, some flexibility with those at least. But like I said earlier, I'm going to be working on this for a while, and if something I'm doing isn't working for me, I will not be shy about changing it up, like printing new labels and changing it up. So I really appreciate that the company did include stickers for all of the symbols, and so I don't have to mess with feeding them through my Xyron sticker maker and making copies and all that. I do get a little twitchy about like, once I put this on, it'll be harder to move if I want to change out how I have things stored, but you know what? We'll just cross that bridge if we come to it. I think that's all I have as far as my long and detailed explanation of what this is going to look like. And now I think I'm going to get into it. I'm totally going to set a timer to see how long this takes me. I know Some other people that have worked on these kits have said it's taken them like 4, 5, 6 hours or like a day. And I really, really hope it's not going to take me that long, but we'll see. It's fun. It'll be fine. And really, like, I'm hoping that by having mapped everything out, which, let's be honest, that took me a couple of hours, an hour or two. Hopefully that will have saved me quite a lot of time now as I'm like getting into it. So I'm going to shift you guys into time-lapse mode, and I really don't see myself getting this done in one sitting. So I'm sure that you will see some transitions, but let's just roll with it and let's see what happens. Are you with me? Okay, let's go. Okay, so remember how I said that I wasn't going to get this all done in one sitting? I got it all done in one sitting. I haven't actually even gone back to watch the time lapses yet because it is way the heck past my bedtime, and I just wanted to go ahead and get this little end bit recorded before I go crash, because I don't want to have to set all this up again. So if you were wondering what 220 drills kitted up, 220 colors of drills, can you tell I need to go to bed? Kitted up looks like, this is it. This took me 2.5 hours just for this portion. And I will say that having everything mapped out, exactly what container each color was going to get, that made it go so fast. I thought for sure this is going to take me twice as long, but frankly, the 2 hours that I spent figuring all of this out, figuring out which containers were right for how many drills and that kind of thing, that super paid off and made this part, the actual kitting up, a breeze. So, I mean, I guess it landed me about or the same spot that other people I'd heard mention, where it's like, it took me 5 hours to kit up. It took me 6 hours to kit up this kit. So initial observations. These drills have almost no trash in them. They look fantastic. I am so thrilled about that. I literally saw 3 pieces of trash in all 220 bags. They were quite staticky. So you can see like on these big ones, you see how there's drills there like stuck to the front. So I will cut up some dryer sheets and stick that in there. If you didn't know, if you do run into staticky drills like this, which in the time lapse, I'm not sure how well it'll show. Like when I was trying to pour them from the bags into these, the drills were like leaping all over the table, and then I was using my finger to like pick them up and put them back in. That was a static. But if you have staticky drills like this, a dryer sheet will work magic. So you can just cut up a little piece of dryer sheet, stick it in there, shake it up, and you should have a much easier time of pouring your drills into trays and whatnot. So I think I'm pretty happy with how the storage looks. So these are the colors that there are the most of, and I'm sorry about that glare. Let me turn it sideways. Lots of muted tones, especially these colors that there's a lot of. But I think that altogether it's going to create this really pretty picture. I haven't looked at the canvas since I unboxed it. The symbols, I mean, to see how clear they are. I think that they were pretty clear. And I'm a little entertained by some of these. Like, are you old enough to know what this is? And it's besides the save icon on a computer. Do you know what that is? I love some of the things that they came up with for symbols on here. We got like Pac-Man, like a hammer, like I'm going to call that Harry Potter, like a megaphone, a Christmas, well, those two are hecka similar. Like an outlet. I don't know. It's fine. I'm glad that I went with these over the small Elizabeth Wards. Look, we have a car. We have like a notebook. There's an upside down Pac-Man. We got a bomb. Okay. I mean, when you have to come up with 220 symbols, I got no judgment for you here. Quick note, impressions on these particular containers. So in almost every set, there would be one of these where the lid would not stick shut. It just kept popping open. I just use a piece of Scotch tape because I thought some of these colors I'm really not going to be using that often. And so, especially if they're in these, like, am I really going to be using them that often? So is it ideal? No. But it was so cheap to get this set of these to be able to kit up 168 of the smaller colors. I'm okay with it. I wouldn't use these like for other projects probably. But really, I mean, look, like this one I think has like 40 or less drills in it. So we'll see. That does not want to come into focus. We'll see. Look at those pinks. There's some really, really beautiful colors in this kit. And I'm very, very, very excited to get started. Let me give you guys another look at these symbols. They mostly look distinct enough. I'll have to take another look at the canvas and see. But, yeah. Like I said, very, very, very happy with the quality of these drills. Like, for square drills... That's my cat. She's like, come to bed, lady. It's like a little lion. That's adorable. For square drills, like these look stellar. So I'm stoked about that. I hope I'm not going to run into any popping drills. My understanding is these kits are very high quality. I mean, you're going to pay for it. But, oh, look. It's like the symbol for diamond painting. How appropriate. Okay, I'm going to let you guys know before my cat drives you absolutely crazy. Here's that symbol that I've joked about before. It's literally like the low fuel signal. Yeah, I'm excited. And this was not as bad as I was afraid it was going to be. Again, I think doing that work up front, while tedious, I think saved my bacon. So if you were to get one of these kits and plan to kit it up, well, if you were to get one of these kits, I would recommend just being intentional and planning it out ahead of time, what you want your storage to look like. It's driving the type A in me a tiny bit crazy that I have 3 different storage systems going, but it is what it is. I just need to have storage that works for this kit. So we'll see. I am not sure exactly when I'll get started on this, but I will definitely be keeping you guys posted. I know that you guys are excited to see it, and I'm excited to tackle this project. Let me know if you have any questions about the kitting up process or anything like that below. And I will try to include links to the various storage systems that I used, as well as a link to the shop where I purchased this from, in the description below. And other than that, I think that's it. Super sorry about my cat that is losing her mind upstairs. I may re-record this in the morning. If not, you get to be serenaded by my cat after midnight. So I hope you're all having a really good week. I'm excited to share this with you guys and get started here soon. So I hope you all have a great week. The obvious things. If you enjoyed this video and all of its craziness, please feel free to hit the thumbs up below. If you want to see more from me and get updates when I share them on this project and other diamond painting things, feel free to hit the subscribe button and even the bell if you want to be notified, since I do not post on any sort of schedule because I have tiny humans running around. But also, I try to get to comments as quickly as I can, which is very dicey. But I will try to get back to them as soon as I can. And I think that's actually it this time. So thank you guys for sticking it out with me. I'm glad you're all here, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.